Down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Sentinel, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Psy-Freak, Commando, Deadeye, Saboteur. Saboteur chosen. Good choice. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads, choosing a path in life. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Can't believe you'd choose that thing over me. But I'll be here waiting for you when you have a change of heart.
That thing? I'm right here. Let me remind you, we're two halves of the same. With the difference being I'm the better half.
Better half. My way is both better and brighter. Light makes it easier to see the best end.
The best end is the one you decide yourself, and it seems we're headed in the right direction.
Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, The predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Well, what do you know? Close encounter. Bullseye. Look, an emergency box from the once. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. That's an improvement. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Person. The deep cut. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks travelled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. The sound of spark metal going pew pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Swoop! Carving it up! Slash and dash. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Hold on to that. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Looper Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the Unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni tribe that's actively working for a doomsday and purging of the world. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Muma's love. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. Magic? He claims it's just the force of life, the existence of energy, powering and connecting all things living, like the Nono. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you... You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of... But today... One day, he says you'd better hurry back to the village before... No, she's got lots on her mind. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's... He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life. The tree started to die when the end of days begun. and it wasn't. Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. And is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. The road ahead won't be easy, but he wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the city. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out of Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive.
He's
heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here.
Himatu Saina.
He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues.
Himatu Saina.
He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart.
Salukut.
He can't understand why you'd do such a thing. He won't make it out of here on his own.
Good work, clever clogs. Let me guide you into the dark.
Seriously? I always thought better of you than that.
And you were wrong. There's always more dark than light.
There's still time to turn back.
They're already heading down my road.
There's out of date again. He must have missed something important.
Fabobe, Mok, Kofa, Le, Yayato.
Out of date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with...
Paikatawa, Yalawawatnawa, Taimis.
The Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become
Momombuso? Maotoliawaho.
Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
Weta, Gono.
Out of date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Momombuso? Luatolo Mawa.
He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part.
Come, Reaper.
In Jagni's case, letting the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life is part of their plan.
Mayami. Boyobut Paikatawa.
He'll be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
Yeah, Mufurbu. Boom. Chintwata Moti Huasa.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. Now you understand better. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. That's the Myriad Fort. That's interesting. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Says everyone wants to see the Sifu. You're in luck, though, as his schedule just opened up.
Sibi? Lapvanen aginkanman. Geratna fala hutut mustugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. He thinks you should reconsider and follow your heart instead of your mind. Otherwise, he'll have no choice but to treat you as a rival. He offers you to return and take your place at his side when you've found out you've picked the wrong one.
Ala van grift, Sibi. All the goals are gonna head echt.
And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Jackney's Stick Fort as soon as you can. He won't be able to guarantee your safety now.
Geled not.
He says that not taking a side in the tribe war is the same as taking the other side. If you're not with them, you're against them.
Volop matati.
Goodbyes are not forever. They're not the end. He assures you that he is going to be the be-all and end-all before this is over. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Wham! That's the Jagney tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war or part of the problem. Let's see. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war.
Wоспляться.
Wonders why the Sifu would want to see you, but he'll let you...
Zata is de moi tot loho. Kariesne statse. Paro, ya put
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomed the news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. He's referring to your rampage through Bunker 101. It seems you don't mind a bit of blood on your hands. That's something you have in common. He understands that sometimes we need to lose ourselves, to find ourselves. But he's glad you chose to come here. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it was based on unarmed... The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can vanquish the other tribes. The one he wants to deal with first is the Myriad tribe. The Myriad are too good to be true. They might believe in the greater good and a code of honor, but you... Their kin must put an end to the war before war puts an end to them. It'll cost bruises and broken bone. They have no intention of letting this drag out, or they'll run the risk of teaching the enemy their art of war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both share dark thoughts, so they want to wage a war. A war where all that's left behind is casualties. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've conquered the rival's outposts, you'll challenge... Your Muma taught each disciple a weapon. She never intended it for hunting, nor... Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. He remembers your kind and Anyway, you'll pass your old village on your way to the first rival outpost, but we've got no time to be sentimental. War doesn't wait. It's always the little things you remember, and with you it's pretty much the only thing he recalls, that you were little.
Alatitoja, kyllä kytre, draikokotia.
Biomutant.
The gatekeeper. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Great shot. Trigger finger. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Then he wants you to know that if you find yourself going through bad times, you should just keep going. Goop says some choose to be lonely because no one understands what they're going through. If that's you, he'll try to help you if you let him. Knowing how to swim won't solve life's hard problems, but at least one of them won't be drowning. He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? At least you learned that you'll drown if you don't swim. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. He knows that's not true. You've just... Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that Wang Fu is in your blood. She says nobody is perfect. That's why you practice. She'll see you at the village square. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. It's your own future you're risking by not caring for the environment. The next generation will pay for the mistakes of the last. You should look... He wonders what usefulness you found. Sometimes he's an expert, but sometimes he just does what's right. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to cry. He He thinks mastering the 6 weapon styles of Wang Fu is more than enough for anyone. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience.
Amun.
You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away.
Gendrana mala.
Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment.
Kodotuku.
She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really...
Sanna yote. Veri?
That's all she's ever asked of you, that you'll try and give it your best. You can't do more than that.
Sanna yote. Inadab sunka?
She worries about you. Sometimes you get lost. They look determined. Better watch out.
Ole ulada.
He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going.
Ole ulada. Nakisisana basurangu inindigori aboritare.
He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though.
Mawa. Letele o.
He wants to know who you think you are.
Mawa. Letele o.
You'll have to face pain at some point. He offers to help you get it over with. She asks if you're hurt. What happened?
Asil natu. Inadab sunka?
If confidence is
Asil natu.
the most important thing is that you're okay.
Yo no massaman barut.
It's time to focus on your training now.
Masamal asaturutu.
Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best.
Kutana untiza fela.
Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling.
Owaksu
He heard you helped.
hunziehen.
He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training.
Owaksu
He'll talk to her, sure, but you know she wants you to accept responsibility for your...
Owaksu
He...
biada.
He's curious to see what you've found.
Dre.
He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be...
Kidlo. Dre.
He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle.
Dre. Mashako hirsave. Sem Neafanish. Winshila inmo.
You should take it with you. Wear it to practice.
Winshila goyo. Lemma.
He should.
Never sind.
Tukonda.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Nampusa, Anson bara. Dere?
But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back.
Pala.
Wants you to...
Polakuto.
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Polakut katjato mustiki muhka nya asana jotutupu.
Catchy.
Katjato poluta.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Nampusa.
Figuring that out is half the fun.
Kialdo male canoro tono. Kala.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device.
Urasa durut.
You should think of it as watching over you when she can't.
Andro.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder.
Asadurutu.
Rest, and you'll find strength. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire.
Antoro. Kensiba. Temelun.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming. He wants to destroy her. The time to fight is coming, whether she's ready for it or not. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. You seem better. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. You're empty of ki. You're fading. Bullets everywhere. It was harder than expected to take down the Fluff Hulk. A group of Jagni warriors are already waiting for you at Miri. You should hurry there and help them storm the outpost. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Look, an emergency box from the... Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. At least you're not coming out of this empty-handed. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Now that's a flesh wound. Sharp. Chop, chop. Right in the face. Better shake a leg. Yours, theirs, whatever. Flash the slash. That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. Well, small ones. Places like this were cheap back in those days. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. You need to believe how Never thought I'd see a clothes soaker from the long gone again. It's an up cleaner of unwash, the clean-cut way to... You need to get the pegs lined up to get the clothes soaker roll. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's spiraled out of control. You need to turn the pegs in sync. You really put a spin on it. The Tree of Life still stands. Question is, for how long?